What is going on, Nitrosites? It is your boy, the Nitro General here, back at it again for week 4 of the NPBA, season 5, against the CYM and Coach Musty Butt. Now, before we get into, his team builder and stuff, we do have some transactions. That, I'm not super happy that I made, but I felt like I had to for the purpose of the team. So, but before we get into that, guys, if you guys are excited for week 4 of the NPBA, make sure you guys subscribe. And make sure you leave a like if you guys are excited to. Leave me a comment down below about the team, about the battle, whatever. Lets me know that you guys enjoyed the video. There should be some text floating on screen somewhere if you guys want to skip the battle and go straight to the video, but I would really appreciate it if you guys would actually watch the post-production, watch the transactions, watch the team builder in the pre-battle press conference, so I can, obviously get my watch time up, because that's how we, spread the news about the channel. That's how YouTube pushes the channel, is watch time. And my watch time is still very low, so if you guys would really want to help out, I would really appreciate it if you guys would actually watch all that good stuff. But and that way we don't get into the battle and they're like, why is he running hydro pump on his Vicavolt? And I would be like, well, if you watch the team builder, you would see. Vicavolt doesn't get hydro pump, I wish, but you would know why. So, yeah. But let's get into the transactions before we get into the pregame press conference. So, the first transaction, guys, I come with a very, very heavy heart to say that I dropped one of the Pokemon that I was actually the Pokemon that I was most excited about in this. Well, I'll say the most excited about in this league, right? I was so absolutely excited for this Pokemon, and the first 3 weeks, it did nothing. It did nothing but disappoint me, and I really felt like for the good of the team, we have to say that we had to part ways with OG the Mew, right? And I know, I was so excited about Mew. I waited till the final draft, my final pick to draft Mew, which I don't regret, because it also allowed me to just pick another Pokemon that worked very well with the team, instead of picking a tier 1, instead of dropping a tier 1 that we picked first and then having to find something that fit the exact way, was exact same fit for it. And that's the reason why we did it this way. That way, if I did decide I didn't want Mew, I could drop it and it wouldn't be too hard to find a replacement. But yeah, we brought Mew 2 out of the first 3 weeks, right? We didn't bring it the second week. We brought it the first week. It got 1 KO with Energy Ball against the Gastrodon. And then last week, we ended up just sacking it, right? It did absolutely nothing. And, I really do like Mew. I think it's a really, really good Pokemon. And I know I said that really what I wanted to do is catch people off guard this season. And Mew is like the perfect palette for catching people off guard, but since you can do anything with it. Make it bulky, make it fast, make it offensive. You can make it do whatever you want, right? And that's what I was really, really enjoying doing. But my thing is that every week, Mew was never a Pokemon that I threw on the team and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to do this with it. No, it was a Pokemon that I put on my team, and it always just ended up being support, right? It was a Pokemon that I threw on if I couldn't figure out the last Pokemon to bring with some other moves. And there were so many different things that I wanted to do with Mew that I just didn't feel like was that good. And it really, really sucks, because I really felt like I really wanted to do something with Mew. And I don't think it's a bad Pokemon by any stretch of the means, but I just felt like if I'm having this much doubts about a Pokemon as my tier 1, it would not be smart to keep it, right? If I had this one as a tier 2 or even a tier 3, I probably would be like, you know what? If it's not doing anything really much right now, it might do something more later in the season. Like, if I was having these feelings about Ursaluna, I might, still keep it. But as a tier 1, like, my tier 1 is supposed to be the Pokemon that I know I can rely on every single week to come in and do stuff. But since it did a little something week 1, and did we didn't even bring it week 2 and then was awful week 3. You know, I just felt like I needed to get something else on the team. A little bit more extra power. Something I could bring that would scare the ever-loving crap out of people along with Urshifu. Right? You know, we need two of those 2 powerhouses out of the gate. Is just, you know, would be really, really nice. So I thought it was the best to part ways with Mew, at least as a tier 1. You know, maybe if I made it a tier 2 next season, it might be better, but I felt like I needed some more power, so that is why we picked up our girl, Ponyo, the Ogre Pond Cornerstone. Now, I'm really excited, right? Like, I wanted to draft Ogre Pond, but we didn't, strictly just because I wanted Mew. But Ogre Pond, I feel like, is really, really, really good. Now, obviously, it's got 4 forms. I didn't want... The water one had been drafted, right? That was the only other one that had been drafted, but we did have Milotic. I didn't want... So I was really between rock and fire. I didn't want the grass one, just because I wanted something... I didn't want us to just be open to, you know, flying types, right? And I feel like the other 2 forms were better. And so I was between the fire and rock. I know fire is technically better. I think it's still OU and banned in singles. But I know it's technically better. It's got less weaknesses, and this does add another fighting type weakness for us. But I do feel like, you know, it's better to have the rock because it allows us to hit flying types for super effective. And it, you know, it's just overall just allows us to have more type diversity on the team. You know, we don't really have very much for flying other than Overdrive, and Vikavolt is neutral to flying type attacks, and it's just very slow. This thing is insanely fast with base 110 speed. Well, it's only 10 points faster than Mew, right, for speed. But it has got a base 120 attack and base 96 special defense, right? It's just overall a really, really good Pokemon, right? We've got Rock, Ivy, Cudgel. We have Horn Leech to get health back. We have got Spiky Shield to, you know, not take damage from physical type of moves and be able to get, I think it's an attack lower from Spiky Shield. It also gets Follow Me, which is really, or no, not Follow Me, After You, right? Which is, was one of the reasons why I drafted Lilligant. Was 4 After You, so we have that. It also gets Knockoff, Encore. It just overall gets so many good moves, and this thing is just very, very, very good. And having this thing pairs very well with Ursaluna. They're both, you know, weak to fighting type, but, you know, Ursaluna is weak to water, Ogre Pond is neutral to water, and I just think it's really good. Right, I'm really, really excited to use Ponyo. I think it'll be another one of those Pokemon that we can bring almost any week that will actually do something, and I really think it's going to do a lot more than Mew. So, yeah. And the next Pokemon we dropped is, you guessed it, we picked up a Grass type as a Tier 1, so I had to drop it, and we had to drop Lilligant, right? I do like Lilligant. Lilligant was one of those Pokemon that was like, okay, there's always that one Pokemon that you draft that's like, oh, well, it may never come in the season, but it also might come and it might do something, right? I wanted a grass type, something specifically for water types, that was a lot faster than Vikavolt. It's a very, very good Pokemon. I mean, it does get, the only thing I am sad about is that we no longer have access to Sleep Powder, decently fast Sleep Powder, but it is something that it is whatever. We could run Hypnosis on Ninetales if we so choose, right? This thing is just very good in general, but I just felt like we were better off. And, you know, picking up Ogre Pond did give us a third Pokemon weak to fighting types, right? Now, obviously, one of our fighting type weaknesses can terrestrialize into a ghost type, but I felt like it was probably best that we picked up another fighting type resist. And, you know, we dropped Mew, so why not pick up another good psychic type? And what else was in Tier 3 that was a really, really good psychic type for us is Espeon. So we picked up Rob the Espeon, which I think is very, very good. And I didn't realize this until I was prepping this video. We have Ursaluna, right, that's based off the moon. And now we have Espeon that is based off the sun, right? So we have Luna and Ra, which I just think is super, super cool, just out of just, like, the basics of it. And I didn't realize that until recently. But Espeon is really good. And if it didn't cost another transaction for us to make Espeon a Terra Captain, I probably would have made it a Terra Captain. Captain. But I felt like our other two were probably better as Terra Captains as well. So, you know, obviously we're keeping Ra as not a Terra Captain, right? It is another one of those Pokemon which I feel like if I drafted it in the regular draft, we would have made it a Terra Captain, and it would have came and it would have done a lot, right? But it is going to fill in that spot of Lilligant where it's like, if it comes, it'll be great, but we may not bring it too much, right? And I know it's weird because I know Espeon is a very, very good Pokemon, and seeing how MV used it last season of the NPBA, I wish MV was in the NPBA, last season of the SPL, right? Was it last season or the season before? I think it was last season where, no, yeah, it was season 1 of the SPL where he drafted it, and it just did a lot as a Terra Electric and Terra Fairy. So it might come a lot, it might not. It's one of those Pokemon where we'll really have to see how it fits in with the team, but it being a really, really good, you know, resistance to fighting. It does only have a base 60 defense, but base 130 special attack is really good. Base 95 special defense and base 110 speed, so it's speed tying with Ogerpon, so we could bring these things and they're both just insanely fast. But I'm very, very excited for it, right? But without further ado, guys, this has already been 10 minutes, and you know, I thought this was going to be less, but we have, you know, we are fighting CYM this week. I'm not going to tell you guys what it stands for because it's not really appropriate for YouTube. So we are just going to, and you know what? I was like, dang, you know, the guy who is the captain of this team is called Musty Butt, and I'm like, that really sucks because I had to pick between saying his team name or his coach name, and I was like, both of them are not really appropriate for YouTube, but I think Musty Butt is a little bit more appropriate than his actual team name. So we're going to keep it as CYM. Everybody in the league knows what it stands for. Other than that, I don't want to get demonetized. Well, I'm actually not monetized at all, but I don't want to get my video flagged for being inappropriate. So we're going to keep it as this, and he has literally the most terrifying rain team I have seen in any draft, right? On YouTube, in my experience of doing draft, he has every single Pokemon that is a staple of a rain team ever, right? This is his team, right? Consists of Urshifu Rapid Strike, Pelipper, Barraskewda, Kingdra, and Ludicolo, right? That is insane. And Kilowattrel, right? Not to mention he's got Gardevoir, he's got Fortress, he's got Duraludon, and he has Golem, right? A lone Golem. Now, this is just insanely scary. Now, let me quickly pull up his Terra Captains since I don't have his Terra Captains up, and I know I should be more prepared. I know Gardevoir is one, and let's see. Okay, and let's see, where are you, Musty? Okay, and I don't know where. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Gardevoir and Kilowattrel, right? Gardevoir can Terastallize into a Fairy, Steel, or Fire type, and Kilowattrel is Flying, Electric, and Ice, right? So neither of them are super, super good. I do believe it'll probably be Terra Fairy on Gardevoir or Terra Flying on Kilowattrel, or maybe Terra Electric, actually. One of the two if he ends up bringing it. But I feel like he would because we have he has a Pokemon that could set up Tailwind that's just really good. But let me just put this out for you guys. He's got Pelipper, obviously the best rain setter in the game, along with Urshifu. A Surging Strikes in the rain demolishes our team. Like, demolishes it. There's nothing that we can, there's not a single one of our Pokemon that wants to take that, right? Especially because Milotic is especially defensive and not physically defensive, right? It is insane. Pelipper's there, 100% accurate. Hurricanes does get access to Tailwind, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, all that kind of stuff. Barraskewda is also insane. I am very glad that none of these Pokemon can Terastallize, right? Barraskewda getting Swift Swim in the rain outspeeds our entire team. There's nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. Getting access to Liquidation, Close Combat, Flip Turn. This Pokemon is also insane. Poison Jab, Crunch. It's insane. It is probably the scariest rain Pokemon. Arguably, Kingdra could be scarier, but I do think that Barraskewda is more terrifying, right? Especially because we just picked up a Pokemon that's, neutral to water. So this thing is just insane. Then he's got Kingdra, obviously, Hurricane, Dragon Pulse, Hydro Pump, also gets access to Swift Swim, outspeeds our entire team. Nothing we can do. It's insane. That Pokemon is just so incredibly scary. Not to mention Kilowattrel can have 100% accurate Hurricanes, 100% accurate Thunders, Volt Switch, Defog, Tailwind. It's just, that thing is incredibly scary too. I think I said Volt Switch, but Ludicolo or Ludicolo. I always say Ludicolo. And I think that's just because I heard somebody say that years and years and years ago, and now it's just stapled in my brain, right? If you guys know me or have watched the channel for any amount of time, you know Ludicolo is one of my most hated Pokemon of all time. I cannot stand that Pokemon. It's a terrible design. It's not a good Pokemon. I will never use it, right? It is almost as bad as Drampa, right? Drampa and Delphox, right up with those 3 Pokemon are like my most hated Pokemon of all time. But Ludicolo, I hate that Pokemon. But we don't want to take it for granted. Does get access to Hydro Pump, does get access to Rain Dish, I think Swift Swim as well. Does get access to Ice Beam, Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, all that kind of stuff. I do probably think that's coming just because of Milotic. Gardevoir is scary, right? We know Gardevoir is scary since we drafted it last season, right? It gets Moonblast, it gets Mystical Fire, it gets like Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, Draining Kiss, all that kind of stuff. It's a very, very, very scary Pokemon and could do a lot of damage, right? Fortress might come just because we have Sticky Webs, but we have not brought Vikavolt yet this season, so I don't know if it would come, right? But it does get access to Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Spikes, all that good stuff. I don't think it might get access to Taka Spikes. I don't know. But yeah, it's not that great. Gyro Ball, Iron Head, that kind of stuff. Both Durafrig and Duraludon are kind of scary, but they're both Pokemon that don't really think are coming, but they could just be throwing the Eviolite on, and Duraludon with the Eviolite is absolutely busted anyways. I don't think he's going to bring it just because we have Ursaluna, but he could end up bringing it, but obviously Durafrig gets like Psychic, and stuff like that. I don't really think he's going to bring it, so I'm not really too worried about it. Duraludon, obviously Flash Cannon, Steel Beam, does get access to Power Meteor Beam, stuff like that if he does want to bring that. Again, it could come. And Alolan Golem is not a good Pokemon, and it's not coming to this matchup. So, a Pokemon that's 4 times weak to ground, that can't Terastallize, that, our Ursaluna is faster than, I'd be extremely surprised if he brings that. So, but yeah, I guess it gets access to Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Thunder does too, 100% accurate Thunders, Stone Edge, that kind of stuff. But like I said, I don't think he's going to bring it. But that is his team. Definitely insanely scary. So let's check out the team that I prepared for. Alright guys, so this is the team that we are bringing against Musty for week 4 of the NPBA, right? Now, of course, we got to bring Ninetales. We brought Ninetales every single week. It is very, very good with Light Clay. We are bringing Snow Warning. I think it's very, very good in this battle, especially because we can actually get rid of the rain, right? Getting rid of the rain basically makes Bearscute and Kingdra less fast, and makes Urshifu Surging Strikes do less damage. And because with this set, we are outspeeding everything except for Bearscute, and I think maybe we outspeed Kingdra outside of the rain, but I know we don't outspeed the Bearscute outside of the rain. But we are bringing Aurora Veil, Freeze Dry, Moonblast, Aurora with Light Clay, right? 252 EVs in speed, 252 in special attack, the remaining 4 in HP with a timid nature, right? We are just outspeeding Urshifu here. Aurora Veil is really good, obviously, and Freeze Dry is just very, very good in this battle, right? 4 times effective against Pelipper, 4 times effective against Ludicolo, 4 times effective against Kingdra, right? Also hits Bearscute for super effective, also hits Kilowattrel for super effective, and Duraludon for neutral, right? So that's just very, very good in general. We have Moonblast specifically for that Urshifu for nothing else. Well, I guess it hits Kingdra too, but obviously I'm always going for Freeze Dry against Kingdra. And then we have Roar. I didn't really know what I wanted for my last move. I thought about Encore, but I didn't really see any of his Pokemon doing anything to set up too much, except for possibly Swords Dance Urshifu. But Roar is actually is better, allowing us to get rid of certain Pokemon if we need to, right? And then we have Ponyo. We're bringing Ponyo for the first week coming here. Obviously with the Cornerstone Mask, because we can only run that. Sturdy, Hornleech, Ivy Cudgel, Spiky Shield knockoff. We have 252 EVs in attack, 252 in speed, with the remaining 4 in HP. With a jolly nature, right? This allows us to outspeed all of his Pokemon outside of the rain, except for Barraskewda, because Barraskewda is just naturally really, really fast. I do believe it outspeeds Kingdra outside of the rain. But we have Hornleech, Ivy Cudgel, Spiky Shield knockoff, right? Hornleech hits Urshifu, hits Barraskewda, hits Kingdra, all for super effective. Also hits Pelipper for neutral. Hits Ludicolo for neutral. And then if he does, for some reason, bring Golem, which he's not, it does hit that. Right? And then Ivy Cudgel hits Kilowattrel for super effective. Hits Pelipper for neutral. And then I specifically brought it for the Kilowattrel and for the Pelipper, right? But it does just obviously hit. It's just very, very good in general. And it hits, unresisted against... Gardevoir, Girafarig. I guess that's it. It's neutral against, but it is very good. Spiky Shield is because he has got a lot of physical. He's got a lot of special attackers, obviously. But we do have Spiky Shield, which is the contact loses HP. That's what it was. So it's just basically just a better version of Protect, and if Urshifu Urshifu can just go through it with Surging Strikes, but a lot of other Pokemon will allow us that want to get rid of it because it's such a good Pokemon, allows us to do that, right? Knockoff, I only brought it because I didn't know what else to bring, and if we have like a better Pokemon. Now all of our Pokemon outspeed Urshifu without a Choice Scarf, right? Choice Scarf Urshifu, which I really hope he doesn't bring, but that's right. All we have. Rora, Ponyo, and Boombox all outspeed Urshifu without Choice Scarf, right? And they're all answers to Urshifu that can all one hit KO it, right? Ninetales may not, but Ponyo obviously does, and Boombox obviously does, like we'll talk about here in a minute. But Knockoff allows us to hit like Gardevoir, again, on like a switch for neutral damage, and allows us to hit anything else to get rid of an item if we feel like we need it, right? So, but I don't think we'll be using it. Then we got Marvel here. We're actually bringing a max special defense and a max HP set this week with the remaining 4 in special attack with a modest nature. This allows us to basically be able to take any special attack from allows us to withstand at least one attack from Kilowattrel, bearing it being like a Specs. Allows us to take moves from Pelipper, Gardevoir, Kingdra, a special Ludicolo, Girafarig, all that kind of stuff, right? It doesn't have a terrible defense, but obviously we have that. Q-Charm, again, because obviously it doesn't have anything that's got like Intimidate or whatever. But we do have Q. I guess I should have maybe, no, we'll leave it as Q-Charm, but we could run competitive if he does bring Sticky Webs. Well, he doesn't have access to Sticky Webs, but never mind. For some reason, I thought for a second that he had Sticky Webs on his team, but he doesn't. Q-Charm's just good if we can get Infatuation. It is what it is, right? Muddy Water, again, in the rain is just very, very good and hits decently hard against a lot of stuff. He's obviously got a lot of water types, but, that allow us to, be doing a little bit of damage. It's more for just bulk and taking hits this week. We got Recover and Protect, and then Drain and Kiss is there for the Urshifu, because I think that would be really, really good. So, yeah, next Pokemon is we are taking Overdrive the Vikavolt off the bench this week, guys, with Expert Belt, Levitate, Thunderbolt, Sticky Web, Volt Switch, and Bug Buzz. Now, I was almost not going to bring Sticky Web this week just because he's got 2 Defoggers and a Rapid Spinner, but I thought this Pokemon is just very good in general against this team, so I thought if we just brought Sticky Web, if we had the option, if he doesn't bring Fortress and only brings like maybe one of the 2 birds, we could try and set it up. Thunderbolt, it just hits everything, and then I almost ran Thunder on this thing, but I was like, our whole point is to try to bring Roar in to get rid of the rain. So why run a move on Vikavolt that's good in the rain? And with its 145 base special attack, putting us at 427 special attack with 252 EVs in special attack, 252 in HP, remaining 4 in speed with a modest nature, is allowing us to basically hit anything for unresisted, right? Like, this thing is hitting so hard, right? We got Volt Switch if need be, slow Volt Switch, which is pretty good, and then Bug Buzz hits both Gardevoir and Girafarig if he decides to bring them. I think Thunderbolt may be better. I know base 9, I think they're both base 90, right? Yeah, so I think Bug Buzz is going to be better against both of those. So overall, I'm really excited about bringing this thing. I'm hoping that it does a lot this week, but we'll have to see. Next one up, guys, is we're bringing a Terra Water Spike the Hisuian Quillfish. By the way, I'd have to say, we're bringing Quillfish, and it is surprising me at how good it is. And I feel so, like, validated now because we drafted Overqwil last season, and it did nothing, right? So bringing Hisuian Quillfish this week is just really, really awesome, right? We have the Eviolite to boost it even more. We have Intimidate for the Urshifu, as well as Barraskewda, and yeah, basically that. And then we have Terra Water for Aqua Tail, Aqua Jet, Poison Jab, and Crunch, right? Aqua Tail is what we'll be clicking a lot of times. I almost ran Barbarage instead of Poison Jab, but I wanted to be able to hit Ludicolo and Gardevoir for more like damage. Water's a good Terra type, and in the rain, boosting our Aqua Tail and Aqua Jet is really, really good. And then Crunch is there for Girafarig, I guess. Again, did not know what else to bring on this thing, but I guess it hits Duraludon for neutral, because I didn't want this thing to be completely walled by Duraludon, because it would be if I just ran Poison, which is immune, and then Aqua Tail and Aqua Jet, which are resisted. So, which I think is, 4 times resisted? Does Steel resist water? I know Dragon does, but I don't know about Steel. But yeah, so we have this thing, max HP, max special defense, with the remaining 4 in attack, and yeah, so this again is just to take a lot of the special attacking moves. This thing is not going to go down to any special type moves. And with the Aurora Veil up, this thing is insanely bulky on the special side. And then we still have 85 defense. And then this thing is not really meant to do a ton of damage. It's more, again, to come in, even though it's running 4 attacks. But, you know, base 95 attacks isn't awful, so this thing is going to be decent. And then the last one, we are bringing Choice Specs Noivern. Boombox is coming back off the bench from week 1, guys, with Choice Specs Frisk, so we can tell what item they're holding. And obviously we're running max speed, max special attack with a modest nature with the Choice Specs. With this set, we are outspeeding his entire team except for Barraskewda out of the rain. And yeah, we are outspeeding Urshifu, and with this, Air Slash will KO, right? To an unbulky Urshifu, but I believe it does like 170% to base Urshifu, so unless he's like max HP, max special defense, this thing will KO, right? Unless he's Scarfed, we are faster. We are running Air Slash, Hurricane, Tailwind, Dragon Pulse. Air Slash obviously is there for the Urshifu. We are running Hurricane this week because just in case we want to click it in the rain, because obviously it hits everything on his team for very, very good damage, except for like the Golem and the Duraludon, but it hits everything else pretty hard, and it has a chance to confuse. And then we're running Tailwind, which I know it's on a spec set, but if we need to come in and click Tailwind quickly so we can outspeed some stuff in the rain, that would be better. And then Dragon Pulse is basically there for Kingdra. I didn't really know what else to put on this thing. I guess it also hits Duraludon, since Duraludon kind of walls him without it. And then, yeah, so like Tailwind, basically this thing is clicking Air Slash, right? If Rain's up, possibly Hurricane. But basically Air Slash is what we are looking forward to. So, but yeah, and first will allow us to know what items are all holding, because I could see like a Life Orb or Choice Banded Barraskewda coming, because that thing in the rain demolishes our team, shreds it, right? So, but without further ado, guys, that is it. If I had to pick 6 Pokemon, since I didn't say this in the pregame press conference I think he's bringing, I'm going to say Pelipper, Urshifu, Barraskewda, Gardevoir, Kingdra, and either Ludicolo, or Kilowattrel, right? I don't think he brings the Fortress. I don't think it's that good against our team, and we haven't brought Sticky Webs yet. I don't think he brings Girafarig, just because I don't think it's super, super good, unless he just brings it for bulk. He could bring Duraludon, but I highly doubt it, because we have Ursaluna. We're not bringing it this week, because he has a full team of water types, but I don't feel like he would bring that, and definitely not the Golem. That's 4 times weak to it. Like, why would he bring Golem? So, especially because if I bring Ursaluna, that Pokemon is done, it's gone. So, but yeah, so those are the 6 that I'm hoping he's going to bring, and yeah. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the battle. Alright, guys, so he has challenged me here. Let me just get this all settled up with my mic and everything. So yeah, he did challenge me in Ubers, which probably means Urshifu is coming, but I think we already knew that. So let's accept it. Okay, well, a lot of what I expected. The Alolan Golem is crazy to me. Crazy to me. I have a... That's just crazy to me. The fact that he brought that. I kind of want to lead Ogerpon and either Noivern or Vigavolt. I don't want to lead Ninetales just in case he leads Pelipper. But he may not lead Pelipper. So let's go. Who do we send out? Let's go Vigavolt. And let's go Ogerpon. Vigavolt does have Volt Switch. Okay, let's do this. All right, so he leads the Golem, right? Magnet Pull, Sturdy, Galvantalize. Okay. I feel like I just want to set up a Sticky Web here. I'm not gonna lie. Or I could Bug Buzz on the Gardevoir. I feel like maybe I Bug Buzz on the Gardevoir. That's my only thing. But he's probably going to go for a Rock type move. Do I want to... 207, 123, yeah, okay. 284, I'm 350. How much am I doing to Gardevoir with... If I switch on to Milotic here on the Rock type move... how much am I doing? I could, is he knocking me out? Probably, which makes me, now that I'm looking at it, my team is very, very weak to the rock type moves. Let me see, how much am I doing with, alright, let's see, Gardevoir, I have to grab my keyboard, okay. Let's see, Guard, or actually, let's see, Ogerpon, Cornerstone with 252 in attack. We are not adamant. He cannot knock us out in one. So how much are we doing with? Because I have Horn Leech, or how much are we doing with Horn Leech to the Golem? That's what I want to know. Well, actually, we won't knock it out because it's probably sturdy, right? It's probably sturdy. So, let's go Gardevoir then. Let's see, Gardevoir. Alright, and we are going with Ivy Cudgel. If he's not invested in bulk, we have a 68.8% chance of OHKOing. I kind of want... It may be better to go Quillfish here, though. Because if we go Quillfish, and he goes... Because if he predicts the Milotic switch, and he goes for an Electric-type move on Vikavolt, that would not be good. So I kind of want to go Quillfish here, and I kind of just want to go for a... Ivy Cudgel on the guard. And it could be Choice Scarf Guard. So, okay. Ivy Cudgel. Yes, let's go. Straight up. Okay. Alright, and then what did he go for here? Stealth Rock. Yeah, that actually is really good on his part, because now Ogerpon, he's gonna go into Urshifu. I'm faster than this Urshifu right now. I could just Terra Water. Actually, maybe we don't Terra Water yet. Let's Aqua Tail on the Golem, and unless he's Choice Scarf Urshifu, we outspeed this Urshifu. He's Choice Scarf Urshifu. He is Choice Scarf Urshifu, but he doesn't knock us out. Oh! Okay. And we miss it. Alright. And he Electro Webs, and he also misses it on me. Okay. Let's go Aqua Jet on Urshifu here, and I'm going to Spiky Shield. Because I don't know if we'll knock out Urshifu. I doubt it with Quillfish. I could Terra. Actually, crap. Okay. Actually, we might now. We might now. We do. Let's go. Oh, I should have just Ivy Cudgeled. Oh, that's actually really, really, really good for us. There's the Beerscuda. That's what I'm really nervous about. Okay, he definitely goes for a water type move into Beerscuda, but he could. Okay, right. Regularly without the anything else, we're 408. Yeah, he'd still outspeed us anyways, even if we went into Ninetales here to get rid of it. I actually think I'm gonna go Ninetales here, and we're gonna go Milotic. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hope he doesn't go for close combat. We'll get rid of the rain. He does go for the liquidation. That does so much. Okay. I'm gonna set up the Aurora Veil, and we're gonna click Protect. 348. Dang, he could. My thing is that he could outspeed us. He could outspeed us here. He could. God, would he take out Ninetales though? We do have the defense buff, so I'm gonna go for the Aurora Veil, and I'm gonna go for the Protect. We're gonna go. Okay. Not too bad. Liquidation. That's so good. That's so good for us here. I'm trying to think. Do I need Ninetales? Probably not. What if I just go for a Freeze Dry into the Beerscuda? And I Muddy Water. We're 198. If he's not invested in speed in this thing, do we need even Milotic anymore? We're so low. I could just go for a Recover. Let's do that. Okay. This is actually really, really good for us. Really, really, really good for us. Okay, Freeze Dry. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Okay. Now we go Vic, right? Or do we go Noivern? I think we go Noivern. He's gonna go Kingdra. I'm gonna click Freeze Dry on the Kingdra here. Oh, I'm so nervous. Right? 295. And I almost want to go Quillfish on the Draco. That's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go Quillfish here. Okay. If he okay. Yep, there we go. Goodbye, Kingdra. Goodbye, Kingdra. Let's get it, bro. Oh, Ninetales is so good. MVP, bro. MVP, right? We click Freeze Dry on Pelipper, and we Terra Water Aqua Tail on the Golem, right? 206. And if he's max speed on the Golem, he's max speed. But yeah, I think we just Freeze Dry. Goodbye, Pelipper. And oh, it didn't. But he's gonna Earthquake. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. We're gonna click Moonblast, and we're going to click Aqua Tail and pick up our win against Musty Butt here. I gotta give him props though. That swimmer thing for his rain team was just awesome. GG's, man. I'm gonna tell him GG's in the Discord server here because I can't speak. But this was a crazy battle. Oh my god, I was max max special defense on Milotic, and it really, really didn't matter just because every other one of his team hit specially except for the Golem and the Barraskewda. But low-key, that Golem, when I saw it, scared the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie, that Golem scared the crap out of me since I looked at it, and our entire team was weak to it, except for Quillfish and Okrapon. Yeah. So, and having the Earthquake on it there, oh, that was really, really good. But overall, though, it was a really, really, really good battle. So, GG's to Musty, and yeah, that puts us at all we need. That puts us as 3-1. 3-1, guys. That means all we need is one more win this season and the regular season, and we should secure a playoff spot. We've done very, very well with differential, right? Like, I think our first 2 weeks were like 4-0, and this week is like 5-0. We may be the #1 team in the league right now. I would have to look and do some calculating, but we could potentially be... Actually, I think we're the #2, because I do believe there's a team that won every one of its weeks so far. But... this is just crazy. This was crazy. That was such a good battle. But other than that, guys, that is going to be it from me. So, yeah. I really, guys, hope you guys did enjoy. And other than that, I guess I'll see you next week, right? Nitro General's out. Peace.